I never want to leave you in the lurch for things, but this next video training has to deal with some of the current shortages and problems in the publishing industry that if you're an author, whether you're published or you're about to do a new book release, it's really going to affect you because it's everything about your pricing, your availability, shipping, and all of that. It's some real issues going on. And if you don't have the right professionals you're working with, or you don't have the Fruition Publishing Advantage, it's going to cause some problems. So just wanted to give you that warning before you go into the video. I was doing everything to try not to laugh because I recently came from a panel. I was sitting on a board and they were having this meeting. It was all of the big boys in distribution, from the printers to the supply chain people, to warehouse people, to some of the top publishers. And when people eyes are bugging out of their head and they keep saying, I think we'll be okay, but we're encouraging publishers to have flexibility. It was something about having flexibility. I think we'll be okay. That just cracked me up because they kept saying this, and you can obviously see there's worry and concern on their face, but they keep saying we're going to be okay. And I have a message to tell you how you can be okay, but without a few of these strategies and tips, you may not be. So stay tuned. And as always, if you go to fruitionpublishing.com, you can get our link to YouTube for these and other trainings. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye for now. Hi guys, it's Alicia Brown, the CEO of Fruition Publishing Concierge Services. And I just wanted to drop in. I especially love dropping in after I have industry meetings because there's so much information to share with you as authors, with you as prospective authors on this journey we call publishing. And I'm so glad I waited to go live after the meeting. It's been a couple days now because honest to God, all I could do was laugh not at the situation, but just laugh at the presentation. So if you know me, one of the things about the Fruition Publishing Advantage is that I'm always educating our clients, because I believe an educated client makes a better client. It's not just trusting the professionals that you hire to help you build your author's platform, build your business success, but it's also knowing some of the elements of what they're doing and how you need to apply that to your brand, how you need to properly position your book, position your message so you can fulfill your mission. So wanted to come in and just talk about the current shortages that exist. And this is why I said it was a little bit of laughter, because I'm in this meeting with everyone who's anyone in the publishing industry. Okay, so right from the supply distribution chain, everyone you can imagine, those that offer the printing services for the books, those who are responsible for the distribution, just a lot of different people, as well as some of the larger publishers across the globe. And it was just funny to me. What was humorous, again, not the situation, but the presentation. Because when you see the industry leaders, the big boys, start bugging out their eyes and using the words, I think we're going to be okay, and they say that several times, it's like, wait a minute, Houston, we have a problem. Now, what I will say is that some of these things might be the first time you're hearing them. It may be some other things you're hearing, but you didn't know that they apply to you if you're an author or you're about to be an author or you have a new release coming up, but they do. So let's get right into it. One of the things is the different shortages. Okay, we have everything from the port situation. In case some of you don't know, there are a lot of different delays at the ports. So right down to ports in California, where there's just these cargo ships sitting there with all of these supplies, but they can't go through. Well, the same thing is happening in other countries. If you haven't checked out China, China has made a lot of cuts. I mean, they've made some decisions in their economy that have affected, for instance, those who freelance as teachers, teaching those in their country. So it's been a lot of changes that has affected us, since we are a global economy type system in the US, in the world actually, but it's affecting some of the industries you don't think about. So that means some of the printing that's done for books in the US, but especially outside of the US, that's slower. You have situations with postal delivery periods, not just the US Postal Office, but different type of delivery systems have shortages. Why? Because here's another shortage, labor shortage. So if your things are blocked up at the port, well, here's some other considerations. What about the warehouse workers that will actually hold your book? And I don't care whether you have your private distribution, whether it's distribution through Amazon, wherever books are sold online. All of these places do generally have warehouses or are partnering with warehouses to get your book. Your book goes somewhere once it's printed. So every part of the supply chain, delivery chain, another shortage, lumber. Lumber prices have increased. So it's forcing those who actually print your books. Those suppliers are also increasing their printing prices. They have to, because paper costs more now. Just the way that's affecting the new construction of homes, it affects the publishing industry. And maybe I just learned this. I didn't know about this. You know, I'm pretty abreast on things because I stay on boards. I stay in conversation with industry professionals. So I'm pretty abreast of things. Most of this stuff doesn't strike me as new. One thing I didn't know there was a shortage in was glue. So the actual binding materials that binds books, magazines, whatever, there's a shortage in that, and it's been a shortage in that for the past couple months. So there's a lot of shortages, and those shortages are going to affect those of you who are in publishing, those of you that are published authors, those of you, think about what we have going on at the time of this recording. We have one of the biggest things, which is the holiday season coming up. And a lot of brands, if you're a published author wanting to have a book out by Christmas, by now you would have had that already locked down. So trying to prepare for the Christmas holiday season, new launches around that time, all of those are going to be affected. And when you hear the big boys sitting here saying that they are taking some of their publications that were due to come out in December of this year, they're pushing them already to the next year. Yeah, but they keep saying, I think we'll be okay. So here's what you need to know. There's a lot of other shortages, but those are the main ones: labor shortage, warehouse shortages, supply shortages. All of them are affecting the supply distribution chain. So pretty much whatever your business is, you're impacted, but especially for authors, you need to know this. Should you be scared? I say absolutely not. But never like before, it's as important who you're publishing with, who you're working with, who you're hiring as professionals. Because let's face it, everybody that say they're a professional, they're not. A lot of people don't even invest so that they are abreast of what's going on in the industry and how that affects their business. Their business affects you as an author. So here's the thing. A publishing relationship, and I always say this, it's a collaborative relationship, it's a cooperative relationship, it's a partnership, actually. So both of you should be working together for your best interest at heart. But here's the deal. It was always on the published author to think outside of the box. Because no matter what you're writing on, nothing is new under the sun. Maybe some information, the way you're presenting it, your focus, your expertise you bring, even right down to your personality can make a difference, but none of this stuff is new. So you always had to be innovative. Any business that wants to survive has to include innovation as part of its plan. You do as an author, because being an author is what? It's being a business. There's a business side to authoring, not just launching and publishing a book or writing a book and trying to sell it. There's always the business element. So you have to think and function and act like an actual thriving business if you want to be successful. So you always had to think out of the box. Things happen. Shipments are delayed. Things don't come when you want them. You plan this time and something else happens and this. Now, what are we going to do? That's why it matters who you publish with. That's why it matters what's your monetization strategy for this book. I don't care how amazing your book is. You have to have some type of strategy for sales, for monetization, for your messaging, for getting yourself, your face, your message, your book in front of those who you wrote it for, because it's not for everybody. So Everything from ebooks. Some of you are going to have to manipulate those ebooks. I'll give you that as one tip. Now, I will tell you that in the debut issue of Publish Magazine, a lot of these strategies I'm doing with my clients, you will find in there. So you won't be left alone. But right now, I just wanted to bring you this information because you need to start thinking about it for your holiday sales strategies. Some of you can really promote ebooks while people are waiting and we're having these delays in the shipment. It should not stop you from pre-orders now, because as I said on my platform before, I teach my clients, you look at the example of Michelle Obama. When she announced Becoming was going to be released, she was in pre-order marketing for a year. Okay. Former first lady, I mean, she could drop, she's got almost Beyonce power. She could drop it tomorrow and have thousands upon tens of thousands upon hundreds of thousands that would purchase it. Her and her team spent a year promoting that book. Unfortunately, those that don't have name recognition just focus on how fast can you get the book together to publish it by this date. That's not a good strategy, okay? If Michelle Obama markets for a whole year in pre-orders, I don't know why we think we're any different. Now, you can do a year, you can do 6 months, you can do 3 months, but the point still remains. You can do these pre-orders while there's shipping delays. There's a couple of strategies I use with my clients. So again, if they're a Fruition Publishing client, they already have the advantage. We got you covered, nothing to worry about. But if you're not a Fruition Publishing client, and of course you need our help, you can go to fruitionpublishing.com and we do consultations. We'll be more than happy to help you strategize your book success. But otherwise, I'm just going to tell you this. These are some of the considerations you need to take in hand, because here's what you may not have thought about, and I definitely thought about when they first saying it. Well, I could stop laughing because it was kind of funny the way their eyes, every person, these are the industry big boys who have all the money and the power decisions. They're going, I think we're going to be all right. Eyes are bugging out. I'm like, no, when anyone keeps telling you over and over again, they're delivering gloom and doom, and then they keep telling you over and over again, I think we're going to be all right. Alarm bells should be going off. Second, they talked about the different celebrities and things. So you got to know if there's a shortage, there's a pecking order. Their celebrity clients, if they're pushing some of their, book launches back to next year, but you better believe when there's a shortage, those celebrity books will be printed first. Those celebrity books will be in the warehouse first. Those celebrity books will be in a higher distribution chain. A, because they have the money and their representation to do that, but B, because of course, the names are what are going to sell. On top of that, we've already had problems in bookstores themselves in this COVID pandemic situation, trying to get the same sales and the same notoriety that they're used to having. And one of the biggest ways they do that for the book sales is what? The celebrities. Those are the first people that a lot of readers are going to the bookstores to buy. It's a money scheme. I mean, I'm sorry, it's about numbers and money. So definitely if you are a newer author, if you're not published yet, you're recently published or you're relaunching one of your books for the holiday season, to keep this in mind and just be innovative on how you're doing that. Because again, there's shipping delays. And when people pay you money, they're not always so understanding of that. They want it now. They want it here and fast. So you need to be thinking about, and you always need to think about this, but now more so than ever, what can you give them while they wait?